Think the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs did not act alone. 66 million years ago, the Earth was double-tapped. For decades, the story was simple. One asteroid. One crater. One extinction. Chicxulub. The mountain that fell on Mexico and ended 165 million years of dinosaur reign. Case closed. Textbooks printed. Museums built. But in 2022, seismic scans off the coast of Guinea revealed something that should not exist. A 9-kilometer scar at the bottom of the Atlantic. A second crater. Same age. Same violence. The dinosaurs did not die from one bullet. They were executed. Imagine looking up and seeing a second sun. 24 times brighter than the original. Screaming toward the ocean at 45,000 miles per hour. For anything within 1,000 kilometers of that impact, the last thing they saw was not fire. It was light. A light so absolute it burned through closed eyelids. A light that existed for only 3 seconds before the shockwave liquefied everything it touched. We named it Nadir. The lowest point. And buried beneath 400 meters of Atlantic sediment, it waited 66 million years for us to find it. Here is the question no one wants to answer. Was this a cosmic coincidence, 2 asteroids, same time, same target? Or did the main executioner send a fragment ahead to soften up the Earth before the kill shot? To understand, we need to look at what Nadir actually did to this planet. Because what makes Nadir terrifying is not its size. It is its speed. And what that speed did to the water. 45,000 miles per hour. That is 11 times faster than the fastest tank round ever fired. At that velocity, the atmosphere is not air. It is a wall. The asteroid did not fall through the sky. It punched through it. A kinetic penetrator, a high-velocity slug delivered with surgical precision to the Earth's soft Atlantic underbelly. At impact, the ocean did not splash. It vaporized. The first 500 meters of water ceased to exist in the conventional sense. It transitioned directly from liquid to superheated plasma, creating a vacuum bubble 9 kilometers wide. For a fraction of a second, the Atlantic seafloor was exposed to open air for the first time in millions of years. Then the water came back. 900 meters of displaced ocean collapsing into a void at the speed of sound. The hydraulic pressure generated in that collapse is difficult to comprehend. Think of it as a liquid piston, a vertical wall of water 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower, moving not as a wave, but as a solid mass. Coastal Africa did not experience a flood. It experienced erasure. But speed is only half the equation. What matters is what Nadir hit. Because the asteroid did not just strike water. It struck a time bomb. The Atlantic seafloor 66 million years ago was carpeted with black shale deposits, carbon and sulfur-rich sedimentary rock, the Earth's hidden poison pills, waiting for a trigger. When the kinetic energy of Nadir converted into heat, it did not just vaporize rock. It cooked the sulfur. Billions of tons of sulfur dioxide erupted into the stratosphere in a single convulsive breath. Consider what that means for anything alive. Total retinal whiteout. For any creature standing in West Africa that morning, the world became a featureless void 24 times brighter than noon for 3 heartbeats. Then the heat arrived. Superheated hurricane-force winds, faster than any storm recorded in human history, stripping the flesh from titanosaurs before their bodies could fall. Their skeletons hit the ground clean. And then came the sound. A magnitude 7 earthquake turning solid ground to liquid. 5,000 megatons of TNT, more energy than Earth's current nuclear arsenal combined, detonating in a single point. This was not a sound that was heard. It was a sound that was felt. A pressure wave that physically liquefied internal organs from the inside out. But here is where Nadir becomes truly sinister. Not because of what it destroyed, but because of what it released. The Clumping Paradox. A massive asteroid like Chicxulub creates so much dust that the particles collide with each other in the upper atmosphere. They clump together. They fall faster. The sky clears in months. But a medium-sized asteroid like Nadir? It creates just enough dust to hang in the atmosphere indefinitely. The particles are too sparse to collide, too fine to fall. They suspend. They linger. They block the sun not for months, but for years. The smaller impact might have caused the longer climate hangover. And consider the geography. Nadir hit Guinea. Chicxulub hit Mexico. They flanked the entire Atlantic ecosystem from both sides simultaneously. This was not random. This was a firing squad. The violence lasted seconds. The tsunami lasted hours. But the darkness? The darkness lasted years. The sulfur ceiling turned noon into midnight across the entire northern hemisphere. Photosynthesis collapsed. The base of the food chain disintegrated. And in that perpetual twilight, the cold came. Not the cold of winter. The cold of planetary failure. Average global temperatures dropped by 15 degrees in a matter of months. The dinosaurs did not die from the impact. Most of them died weeks later, stumbling through a world that no longer produced food, breathing air thick with sulfuric acid, their bodies slowly shutting down from starvation and chemical poisoning. This was not an extinction. This was a siege. And the planet itself became the antagonist. The very seafloor that had nurtured life for hundreds of millions of years had been booby-trapped with sulfur. The very atmosphere that had cradled the Mesozoic had become a toxic shroud. The very ocean that had connected ecosystems had become a weapon of mass dispersal. 66 million years. That is how long it took. From the moment these rocks formed in the debris field of the young solar system to the moment they arrived at the exact same time, at the exact same target. The dinosaurs did not die from bad luck. They died from a coordinated assault that took 66 million years to execute. And here is the detail that should disturb you. We tracked Chicxulub. We named it. We built museums around its crater, wrote textbooks about its impact, made documentaries about its victims. But Nadir hid at the bottom of the ocean for 66 million years. 400 meters beneath the seafloor. Invisible to satellites. Invisible to sonar. Discovered not by intention, but by accident, a seismic survey looking for something else entirely. We measure threat by size. The bigger the rock, the bigger the danger. Simple math. Comfortable math. But Nadir proves that speed and chemistry matter more than mass. A smaller bullet can be more poisonous than a larger hammer. A medium asteroid striking sulfur-rich shale at 45,000 miles per hour can cause more long-term atmospheric damage than a mountain striking limestone. We believe we are the masters of this planet because we can track the dinosaur killers. We have satellites. We have telescopes. We have mathematics that can predict orbital trajectories centuries in advance. We have cataloged the threats. We have ranked them by size. We sleep soundly. But an asteroid the size of Nadir, not a mountain, not even a hill, just a 400-meter boulder moving at impossible speed, would kill 200 million people before we could name it. The global economy would collapse within a week. And we would have no warning. Because we are not looking for medium-sized killers. We are looking for giants. That blinding light, 24 times brighter than the sun, was not just an explosion. It was the flash of a camera. The exact moment the giants became ghosts, captured in stone and sediment. We are looking at the photograph 66 million years too late. The universe did not send one assassin. It sent two. And one of them hid until we stopped looking. If the cosmos decides to double tap, does it matter how well we prepared for the first strike?